Rosebuds know to bloom in early May.
First things first, let's get a lip on. Okay, welcome, crew. Welcome to Crew Conversations, where softness speaks, stories matter, and healing has a mic. Testing, testing, one, two, three. I have my mic. We need to figure out a central location for the crew to conversate because when I got ready to do this little impromptu, as we always do, episode, I couldn't find my mic, girl. So I was like, you know what? Maybe not. But then I was like, after the day that I had today, I'm gonna need a candle, my little nook, and to talk to the crew. And I was gonna talk about something different today, but I decided because I have so many topics that I've written down, and I would get my handy dandy green notebook, but girl, I cannot stand the glare that this particular light has. So I just have my iPad on Zoom 1000 and we'll get into a few things. So today we're going to talk about holding it all together. And we're going to talk about what if I break? Cuz girl, who invented the strong black woman? I don't remember signing up for this. And I don't even know how over the last past 20 years I have held it together. There have been times where I wanted to just let it fall apart, but in my younger years, I had these two little faces looking at me. Let's pause for the cause. I've already showered. I got on. I meant to stand up and show y'all my PJs, girl. I feel like I'm giving Hugh Hefner in this little set. It's like a smoke jacket and the pants to match, girl. I am giving Hugh Hefner in a match. And let me turn off the light and no, I'm just playing. Anywho, I'm wearing a feel good fragrance. Fun fact, I cannot stand Jennifer Lopez, but J Lo Miami Glow is one of my all-time favorite fragrances. And I talked about it before. I don't know if I posted it, but this fragrance I wore in 2004, 05. It was like my signature scent for like 2 or 3 years. This is all I wore. And so this takes me back to 28-year-old, newly divorced, single mother of a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, coming home from coming home to nothing after walking away from everything. So this fragrance reminds me of how far I've come. So that girl's gonna always be in my collection. Okay, so like I said in this episode, we'll talk about or talk to the woman who keeps showing up for herself, the one who leads, loves, gives, serves, and still hasn't cried about what's breaking her. Sometimes we hold it together so long that we won't dare let a tear fall. And then sometimes we're just exhausted and we just don't even have a tear to give. I have been there. And today kind of triggered me. I was already having a pretty anxious day. I have a beverage. This is, it don't look like what it is, but it's a Crown Blackberry and Sprite. Cheers to us, ladies. But as I was saying, I was always already having a very anxious day today. And then about almost 11 o'clock, I get a call from HR and saying, you need to get to your car, it's been hit. That's all I need. It's like you handle one thing and then it's always something else. I thank God that things aren't as bad as they could be, but Jesus, sometimes I just need a break. So, I want to talk about how strong wasn't always a choice, it was survival. Like I said, for me and my story, coming home with two little kids, I didn't have a choice but to be strong. I didn't have a choice but to keep moving. And what I realized is for years, I was on go. I was on go so long that I didn't even know what it meant to be still and rest. Like I rushed and rushed and rushed and rushed. Everything was go, go, go. I rushed to get ready in the morning. I rushed to pick up kids from school. I rushed to do this. And so it's like now I've slowed down so much that I'm watching stuff in the review mirror like, girl, you didn't take time to even get yourself together. And so that's why I enjoy the me of me right now because I didn't even have time to enjoy myself. And it's like I have a cousin who always, you're so strong. I don't want to be strong. I want to be soft. I didn't have a choice but to be strong because who's gonna pick up the pieces for me? It's what I learned is like I was just pushing pain to the side. And then eventually it caught up with me, and I'll tell you about that um in a second. What I realized is I was always saying I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, but it wasn't the truth because I didn't have no room to fall apart. These little kids were looking at me. These little kids needed dinner. These little kids needed to be picked up. So I didn't have time to fall apart. I didn't have time to say, go get them. That was my story. So the pressure of responsibilities, of children, of caregiving, of work, it's like a mental tab. It's just open because you cannot close it. You have to keep going. So let me tell you my story. I remember years ago, for I know at least 1 week, I didn't do anything but sit on the sofa. The TV probably watched me. I don't remember going to the restroom. I don't remember. I remember eating a Lunchable for the week. I would go and get a piece of cheese. I would go and get a cracker. I would go and get a sip of water. The only thing I did in that week was take my children to school, pick my children up from school, and fix them something to eat. I didn't go to work. I don't even know how I still had a job. I was think I was in school at the time. I didn't go to school. I didn't go to work. I didn't do anything for that week. And that's when I realized I didn't know what it was at the time, but I was mentally exhausted and I didn't have any gas to do anything but mother those two kids. And when I say mother, I just mean I took them to school and I made sure they ate. If they had homework, I don't even know. I don't even know. That was big God holding it those pieces together because I don't know. Now, in this week, I remember listening to one song. Music takes me back to a place. Anytime I hear a song, it'll tell me where I was in life. So this one particular song, and I'll see if I can insert it. I don't know, but it's in the middle by Isaac Kyrie. I listened to that song at least 2 weeks. I know this one particular week, but I know for 2 weeks I listened to this song, and I feel like it saved my life because I reached out to people to pray with me. I reached out to people for help, and it was nobody. It was nobody, and I never felt so alone in my life. I don't even know if I'm gonna post this because this is probably the most transparent Um, anyway, it was a real tough time for me, and I felt like I could really just drive my car off of the bridge. That's how tired I was. I just felt like I didn't have anything left. And, it's like I felt like I was having a breakdown. And it's like I didn't avoid it because I was brave or that I was strong. I did not have a choice but to keep going. I didn't have a choice but to keep going. And it just shows you how, you know, I can only speak from a woman's perspective. So, as a woman, you could be at your lowest point, and because you're dressed up and you look nice and the kids look nice, and nobody even knows that you are at the lowest point, you are struggling. It's like strength. You need to find a way to be soft. You need someone in your life that you can trust to say that I don't have it all right now and I just need somebody to help me hold it together. Um it's like, when did I realize I was carrying too much? I don't think like in the process of none of that I realized that I was carrying too much. I didn't even know where to go to put some of it down. I just had to keep going. And let's rewind. Let's rewind. Let's go back to when I first got back home to Alabama and I came home with nothing. I didn't have time to heal and put myself back together. So me and all of my broken pieces was all the kids had. So we had to keep going. And when I say we, I'm just talking about me. Had to just keep going. So now, fast forward to now, I'm realizing that rest is productive. I need to feed or fuel myself back up. Um, I have like a meter now of where when I've poured out too much, then I know like, hey, it's time for me to sit still and reserve something for me. Um, I kind of feel like this is just like all over the place, but maybe somebody will understand what I mean by like um just the pressure of trying to hold it all together and learning when to sit some of it down. I'll tell you now what I'm learning is a list, and I would try to tackle everything all at one big ball of confusion, one big ball of responsibility, one big mess. And so now I've learned to break things down and prioritize things. And that has helped me a lot because I was so overwhelmed. And I think, that's probably what it was then. I could not see past everything I needed to do, whether it was every bill I needed to pay, all of the things that kids need, everything I was required to do at work. It was all one thing to me. So now I've learned to prioritize things and put them in order. And I've learned a lot to take something off of my list altogether. If it is not super important, and especially if it's not mine, girl, mm-mm, mm-mm. I was put on here learning to put everything down before it falls and shatters. Letting people support you. I'm still working on that. I do have people in my life that um I can reach out to, But asking for help for me is not easy. So if I ask, it's definitely an emergency or definitely needed, because I am not the one to easily ask for help because of being let down before, or depending on people that I thought should be my circle or should be my support system, and turns out that that was a lie. So it's all about knowing who you can depend on, because that'll hurt your feelings. You're thinking like, oh, surely they're gonna be there for me because you know I'm they ride or die. No, mm-mm, no. Let's see. I forgot all about this. You know, like some of these like episodes I wrote so long ago, so I don't even remember. But I put on here the pressure of being the reliable one, the pressure of being the one that everybody runs to. This is what I'm struggling with right now. If I could be even more transparent with you. Take a drink. This is what I struggle with right now, is pouring out so much energy and so much concern for people and not getting it back from that person. And I know you might say, God has somebody for you, but when that person depends on you and you can never depend on them, that does not feel good. And I struggle with that because, and I know like it could really just be the enemy saying they're using you for everything you got and you can't depend on them for nothing. It really could, and it's probably the truth, but sometimes I feel like, I'm a religious person. So when I say the enemy, I feel like sometimes they play on your emotions and how you already feel. You feel like, I'm tired of being strong for somebody else. And then when it's my time, I'm just right up in here in this little space by myself with my candle lit and my drink and my vibes just by myself trying to figure it out. Um, it gets old. So now it's like I don't want to have a cold heart, but I'm trying to find this balance of when to pour out into somebody else and when to just be like, I don't got it. They say you're so strong and out here you can handle more. I don't want to. I don't want to. Wishing somebody would offer help without you asking. Like right now, I have a new living room suit and I have the old one in here, and I just don't even feel like asking nobody to help me. Like I feel like I'm not a quitter. I was about to shut it down, but I had a list of things that I just want to say. Um, just thoughts of what I feel like I would say if somebody needed to know how to show up for me. Sometimes I wish someone would notice without me having to break. Wishing someone would offer help without me having to ask. Don't wait till I'm in tears for you to show up for me. I don't need to be rescued. maybe just recognized. I don't want pity, maybe just a little partnership. Um, I don't need you to fix all of my problems, but people disappear. I'm not looking for somebody to fix it. Maybe just witness. You don't have to carry it for me. Just stand close while I set it down. Lord. Rest is not weakness. Releasing is not quitting. Like today, I didn't have anything else to give after my car was hit. And I know, okay, the car can be fixed, but it's just one more thing to have to do, to have to pay for. That's all I'm saying. So, this has been a very heavy, I couldn't even get my thoughts together. So, if this turns into an episode, hallelujah. I don't know. I don't know, girl. I don't know. This has been a very heavy day. Um, before before this, I think this was a very heavy weekend. I feel like I'm just in a season of tired, just tired, and I just want to say forget everything, but I don't have that choice because I'm an adult and I have bills and I gotta go to work and I gotta pay everything. But I'm just like tired because I don't remember signing up to be a strong black independent woman. I don't remember signing up for this. So in closing, let me just tell you, because like I said, I didn't realize, like I said, I wrote a lot of these episodes months before I even decided to really pick up the camera. So I don't even remember. But I'm going to just close out by saying, if you're holding it all together, this is your permission to put something down. You don't have to be everything to everyone. You don't have to earn rest. And if you do fall apart, may it be soft, may it be safe, and may someone hold you this time. Lord have mercy. Jesus. Somebody hold you this time. You always holding it together for somebody. And ain't nobody holding it for you. That does not feel good. I love you. Bye.